Well, my recollection of Tom's really a down moment for him occurred in the field house at Northern Michigan. We were in the finals of the regional basketball tournament, and Tom, with no time left, was at the free throw line with 2 shots to win it. And he, of course, he missed them both. And he just fell right on the floor, and just beat on the floor, and the kids had to come out and get him up because he was really down. And I'm told that after that happened, he would shoot 100 free throws at a time. Just practice free throws, because he never got over that, I'm sure. And so that's that story. And the story of how he got to Northern. I was assistant principal at the time and a football coach, and Tom came into my office one day and he was really down. And he was down because no one had contacted him to continue playing basketball, no schools. And I said, sit down a minute, Tom. And Glenn Brown was the basketball coach at Northern at that time. So I called Glenn and I told him, I have a kid here in my office that really wants to play basketball, Tom Izzo. And Glenn said, you send him up here and we'll get him playing basketball. So from there, that's how he got to Northern, on a phone call. And then from there, he went on to, well, his record after that. And so those are my 2 stories with Tom and the Iron Mountain connection that I was personally involved with.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Oh, no, not really. We take the trip down to watch him coach now. And of course, that was several years ago that he left and did that. And he started coaching at Ishpeming High School when he first started coaching. And from Ishpeming, I think he went as an assistant somewhere, Wichita State, maybe somewhere out there. And then came back and well, you know the rest, came back coach.
Yeah, the big one. All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, just remembering him, both of them growing up, when they were in Little League Babe Ruth, and I started umpiring back then, so I was umpiring when they were playing. And I got to know their parents through my parents, so we kind of grew up that way. And then following him in high school, and that's when I started broadcasting. When they were like juniors, I started broadcasting here in Iron Mountain. So I've watched him through the years, and then moving on and getting the job at Michigan State. And the first 17 years when he was coaching, when he first started in 1995, I called him up and I said, would you like to do a radio show? And he first hesitated and then said, okay, let's try it. And as busy as he was, he did it. He said, let's see what happens. And then after the first year, he comes back, he said, well, what did they say? And I said, people liked hearing you. And he would talk to people during that stretch, and they would tell him, well, we were listening to you and you sound good. So the second year he said, let's do it again. And I said, at this point, being as busy as he was, do you want any compensation, anything like that? He said, no, let's do it. As long as they like it, we'll continue doing it. And we did it for 17 years until I retired 3 years ago. And as busy as he was, in some weeks it would take 4, 5, 6 calls a day. He was busy. By the 3rd, 4th day, he finally found a few minutes to do it. And he would say, Mike, I'm sorry I wasn't there when you called. I said, it's not your fault. You're the coach. Don't worry about it. But just the way he treats the people, how he cares for this area, as big of his stature is, a future college Hall of Fame coach. He's still, like everybody says, his roots are still here, and that doesn't change. No matter how big he gets, whatever he does, the roots are here in Iron Mountain, and that's how you remember him and his best friend, Steve.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
No, we've just been friends over the years, and whenever you need something or you need to talk to him, he's there for you. And that's something I'll always remember. He's a good friend.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Organizer of the West Trips, right?
Well, it began in 1995, Tom's first year, and myself and Dick Allen, who was on previously, and a man by the name of Chichi Poza, organized the trip. And we were kind of rookies in that era. We went down on a Saturday and came back Sunday after a Sunday afternoon game. We went down in a snowstorm and came back in a snowstorm, got back to Iron Mountain at 2 a.m. on Monday morning to 22 inches of snow, and that kind of killed it. So there was a period of several years where we did not go. And then in the summer of 1999, I walked into the Izzo business, which had one of the businesses was a shoe repair shop, and Tom's dad, Carly, was there. And Carly said to me, Bob, why don't you organize another trip? Tom would really love to see you people. So I went back to Chi-Chi and to Dick, and that was the start of it in 2000, and we've now done it for 16 straight years. In the early years, Tom would come to the motel where we were staying after the game and visit with people. And then in the third year, he decided that we should go to his house. So every year after the game, he and Loopy host this party at their house for everybody that's on the bus. Take the bus right up and park it in front of the house. And it's not just the people on the bus, but if they have family or friends in the area, he wants them to come as well. We've done it for 16 years. We were unbeaten. We had never seen them lose until this past year when they lost to Illinois. It broke the string, and kind of the class act that Tom is, when he came, he was off on a trip to Muskegon right after the game, and then he came to the party. And usually he talks to the people about midway through the event. He'll have everybody get together and he'll give a little speech and then look for questions. Well, this year, right away, he came in and said, comes up to me because I've got a whistle that I blow. He said, blow the whistle, I want to talk to people. And what he said was this. He said, you know, I want you people to know, this may be your first loss. It is not my first loss. So I don't want people around here walking on eggshells and being afraid to talk about the game or the team or what's happening. You know, I want you to have a good time. I intend to have a good time, visit with you all, and I want you to do the same. So that's the type of person that he is. And like I said, it's gone on for 16 years, and it's kind of amazing. And you know, he doesn't put on just a little shindig. I mean, it's catered. He's got waiters there. He's got bartenders there. So it's really quite an event. And he signs autographs nonstop for people, and it's quite an event. And I think people really look forward to it. And I think Tom really looks forward to it. I think he enjoys seeing all the people from Iron Mountain that he's known over the years. So it's quite an event.
Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you'd like to mention?
Just a couple of things about Tom. One thing is that in the early years, it was kind of easy in the sense that he allowed us to pick a game. Now, as his life has gotten much more complicated with all the things he has going on, we contact his director of basketball operations, Kevin Paga, and let Kevin pick the game because he knows the weekend that Tom would have time to do it, okay? And so about 3 years ago, I approached him at one of our shindigs and said to him, you know, Tom, this is getting kind of crazy for you. You've got so much going on. Maybe we should skip a year. And his answer to me was, no, I want you to come every year because it's what keeps me grounded. Yeah. And the final thing I would say about him is, for all of the fame that he has, he's a guy that has never forgotten his roots and where he's come from. And he's very proud of it. And we're very proud of him, of course.
Perfect. Is there anything else you'd like?
No, that would do it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.